Jay here for Scotty and Motty, so that means that's Scotty. How you doing, brother?
I'm a lot better now. Thank you for you passing over your mank flu.
Did I pass it on to you, though?
Yes, well, you're the only person who's kissed me.
Right.
Who's had man flu.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
no,
I'll
not
be
the only person who's
broken
kissed me.
hide.
But the only one who's kissed me with a man flu.
Okay.
So
it's serious, though, isn't it?
It was, mate, this weekend I was, like, dead.
Like, I was
had to do 2 radio shows. And,
Did you?
And to be honest, because I was, like, forced myself to go into it that much, like, I sort of raised my game.
Yeah, because we did the podcast on Monday, didn't we, this time last week, and I was dying then. Got home. Tuesday I was off work, thankfully. Didn't move from bed all day. And then Wednesday I was on a late and ended up working from home for a bit. And then Thursday I think I came in for the watch-along. Ammonia.
Ammonia?
How do you pronounce it, Younger?
Ammonia, yeah.
Ammonia, yeah. Ammonia, that game. And I was beginning to feel a little bit bad, but it was serious, man.
It's rough, mate. It's serious out there. You take care of yourself. Get them sort of hot drinks with lots of drugs in. Legal.
Legal, yeah. Legal. Get limb sips out your mind.
I didn't want to give them any influence, like sponsorship, right?
All right, other hot.
Right, before we kick off the show.
Paracetamol-based drinks are available.
Right, you're a man with a certain profile. You've also got a blue tick now.
Yeah. Big time, like you. So you got one and thought, can't be having that.
Are there any brands that you wouldn't like sponsor or be an influencer for? I've had a few opportunities over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Some of them quite high profile. I'm not going to mention them on air just in case I do take them.
Just in case, you change your mind and principles goes out the window as the check gets bigger.
It's kids to feed, man.
Yeah, listen, I'm with you.
Is there anyone you wouldn't do it for? You don't mention a brand, but you could mention maybe around it.
Yeah, there is, and there are ones on the channel that I have to swerve on Paddock.
Right, okay.
Mainly alcohol ones,
which makes sense
because I'm a hypocrite. I don't drink. I've been working with Change UK as well, so could be something in the pipeline there. So yeah, for me to sit on an advert and go, "Oh, I really love this type of beer," would be a nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Now there are ways and means around it. There's been times when I've been on a read where I gave my dad a crate of beer and he had it, and I said, "Oh, my dad liked it," or whatever. But yeah, I tend to swerve that because it's a bit hypocritical when you don't use that and you've got no intention of using it, telling others to go. I'm not saying telling people not to drink or whatever, but yeah, it's a bit of a it feels a bit wrong to try and push something that you're not going to use it. You've got no intention.
I'm always curious about how your followers will sort of take certain things.
Yeah. So there's the alcohol one's the obvious one. I'm trying to think what else.
Gambling companies.
It's, again, the thing with gambling, right? Yeah, I understand people have a lot of sort of animosity towards gambling companies, and I understand that. I do like a bit of a bet now and again. And it depends what, like, we've done fantasy football stuff where there's an element of gambling to it. Again, though, it depends. A lot of it just depends what you're talking about and stuff like that. Do you know
how it's done as well.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? If it ties in with a football match, then I can sort of understand it. But it's not, in an ideal world, you wouldn't advertise anything like that. But then there's this part of me think, well, I do actually like a little bit of flaw.
But it's like beauty products.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like that's what they wanted me to sort of like.
They wanted you to advertise beauty products.
Yeah, well, like
what's wrong with that?
Hair stuff and stuff like that.
Well, I wouldn't get that gig, obviously. But you
get hair treatment.
Yeah, like that would. If I was sat here going, you should check out, the latest conditioner
before and after.
by
What's that out of
Kanye.
What's that out of Goodfellas?
Oh yeah, Maurice's wig.
Yeah,
Maurice's wig, hurricane tested. Yeah, that would be, that would actually make sense if I was advertising wigs if I wore one. Yeah. But yeah, so your hair products, you've been.
Yeah, well, I've been.
There's nothing wrong with that. You have got a lovely head of hair.
Thank you very much, but I just feel it feels like a bit of a curveball.
Why?
I don't know, because it's just I've never done anything like this before, so I don't like advertising and stuff, but it's never really been. It's more about my work.
Is this
it's
on
more
your
like
socials?
Pictures and stuff like and they want me to push sort of images.
Right. On your socials,
on my
of
social,
you using these hair products?
I like saying, David Scott wears.
Yeah. You're not into that?
I don't know. It feels a bit like I'd take the piss out of someone if it was. I
mean, I will take the piss out. You do it. Like, do you know what I mean? So, so you know, I hope you do. And you got to get paid and get that check and all that. But it's my responsibility as your mate to rip the shit out of you.
Well, I think that you might get a call to do that as well.
Right.
Anyway, what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about Cristiano. That's thrown me that. I hope, no, listen. I think you should do it, and I promise you, I won't take the mic.
You better not do. From my lovely hair to another man who's got fantastic hair.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, 700.
Yeah, 700 club goals. I think it's 800 odd, obviously, in his career, because he scored loads for Portugal as well. But he banged in his 700th club goal against Everton at the weekend. We thought we'd get into a little bit of that, because he's been up against it, hasn't he, Ronnie, this season?
Yeah. And I've been massively critical of him as well. And I think a lot of it was his own doing, wanting to go, which I'll say and say again, I don't begrudge him because of his career and what he's done at United to want to leave. But his performances on the pitch, he was good yesterday. I thought he was great yesterday against Everton. Took his goal really well. Yeah. Especially with Martial going off injured. But yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, can it be a club? Can you be part of the 700 club if you're the only man in the club?
Ah, right. Okay.
It sounds like the sort of club that James Young would go to on his own.
Hey, look, Youngie loves a good club, doesn't he? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's been a long time since I can't remember last time I went in a club, other than obviously when we was on tour and that. I can't remember last time I went in a club in England. Genuinely. Yeah. When's the last time you went out clubbing?
Most weekends.
Is it? Oh yeah, you're right. You've got a life, haven't you?
Kids club.
Just me, yeah. Play factory.
But it depends though, because there's some, like especially during freshers, where it's like there's no point because I can't move because it's too busy and you've got to queue 2 hours to get in. It's like I'd rather just stay in the pub.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When it's that bad, if it's like a 2-hour queue to get in, then forget it.
Yeah.
What was going on near Piccadilly Station on Friday night, by the way?
What do you mean?
There's just children everywhere wearing next to nothing. Couldn't move my car. Honestly, I was rammed.
What, at night? Oh, yeah. It was, thing was on at Freight Island, so it was Luke Unabomber and Giles Peterson were doing a special. I wanted to go, to be honest.
Did you?
Yeah, it was a big event.
It was absolutely shocking. It took me ages to get home.
Shout out to Luke Unabomber down there. It's really good. You been there, Freight Island?
No.
On a Sunday, they have like kids. So they've got like an indoor sort of hangar place.
Yeah.
And they've got like a silent cinema. So you give your kids headphones. They go and watch the film at the front, and then you can have food and drinks at the back.
That sounds ideal. Whereabouts exactly is it? Because I was near Piccadilly Station.
You know, funnily enough, and I'm not plugging my own work, but have you seen where my poem sort of graffitied up the side of the wall, down the side of
Mate, I've been down there many times graffitiing over in it. Close to
Kids getting paid, don't they? Yeah, but there, so just near the train station.
All right. Yeah. Okay, yeah, nice one. No, because I was driving home from, well, it would have been work, wouldn't it? On Friday, it was just...
Oh, after the... Yeah,
you couldn't move. No, good stuff. Yeah, can you be in a club when you're the only member? I suppose so. Yeah, he's
he owns the club.
Yeah, he owns it. Doesn't he? He's running the gaff.
Yeah.
It was good to see him get a goal, wasn't it? And it has been a little bit sad this season at times, like the Ammonia game, watching him miss sitter after sitter against a team that he would have destroyed a few years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you're like, are we watching the end of an era? Do you know what I mean? Especially when you look at it with the sort of the rise of Haaland. I know Haaland's been going for a few years doing well, but this season especially.
Yeah, but obviously
it felt like it was the end of him and the beginning of someone else. So to see him get a well-taken goal and play well as well, obviously against a decent team. Everton haven't conceded many goals. I think they had the best defence in the league.
Yeah.
7 goals I think they conceded going into that game. Shows there's still life in him, doesn't it? And we need him as a United fan.
Do you think it's better to go out, like, if he wins something in the next couple of years, whoever it's with, go out then? Do you dwindle? Do you know what I mean? I always think you go out at the top. Boxers seem to never know when they're... they should call it a time, do they?
Yeah.
You know, when you get to... I think Mayweather is probably the example that moves away from that. But most of them see one more fight. Do you think... How long do you think he'll push on for?
I don't know. I think there might be an element of you make a judgment, don't you, after this season. If at the end of this season, if, say, Ronaldo's played most of the games and he's got, like, 7 league goals, which, for him would just be ridiculously poor.
Yeah.
He might go, listen, I haven't got time at the top left of me. You know, he could always go to America, couldn't he? Or the top.
What's your ambition there, though? That's what I don't understand. Because he's not playing Champions League football. No. And I don't think...
Do you think with Ronaldo, do you think this summer hurt him? Because when he made it clear he wanted to leave, I think there must have been a part of him that expected at least half a dozen clubs, top clubs, to come in for him. Because he's Ronaldo.
I think so. I gave, if I don't mind saying so myself, a great analogy on Stretford Paddock. And it's like someone trying to say to their missus, listen, I'm leaving you. I'm going to go out. There's loads of women out there that want me. Go to the club.
Yeah.
And then there's nobody, I don't know, they can't pick anyone up. No one's swiping on Tinder. And they said, sorry, love, I've changed my mind. I'm going to come back.
I actually love you.
Yeah.
No, it did.
We might not score in a while.
Yeah, but it did feel a little bit like, didn't it? Like he was like, sort of, here I am, come and get me type thing in the summer. I mean, he did leave it a little bit late, but there was still enough time for clubs to come in.
Yeah.
And there was these rumours there's going to be all these clubs, and there was, Atletico was sniffing around a little bit. Chelsea were linked. Was it Napoli as well, I think?
Napoli are flying as well, especially in the Champions League.
Yeah, none of it seemed that concrete. And, there wasn't that many clubs at the top level that came in for him. You think, maybe he was a bit like, wow. Because you would have thought
it
Ronaldo.
Must kick your ego.
Yeah. Because you're still like one of the greatest, if not the greatest goal scorers of all time. Plus if people do care about that thing, there's the commercial side of it. You're always going to sell shirts and stuff like that because you are Cristiano Ronaldo. And yet, a couple of weeks ago, there was a rumour, and okay, it's only a rumour, it might have been a bit of kidology from someone in their camp as well, but I think it was linked with Fenerbahce. They were trying to sort of tempt him or whatever, and you think, Fenerbahce and even the move to Saudi Arabia, yes, there's loads of money involved, but this is a player that scored 18 Premier League goals last season. He's not done.
Do you think the same problem would happen to Messi? Because I don't think it would. I think if Messi were to leave PSG, I think he'd probably find. I'm not saying, and this isn't down to who's the better player. I just think that Messi would be. I think he'd probably fit into more clubs' plans of how they want to play football than the more direct Ronaldo, who isn't going to play sort of pressing and stuff. And Messi's an aging player as well. But I just don't. I think if Messi put out the signal in June, I think there would have been more offers for him.
Do you reckon?
Ronaldo. Do you not think?
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know.
Barcelona would take Messi back.
Yeah,
I don't think Real Madrid would take Ronaldo.
No, I agree with that. I agree on that front. I think Barcelona would love to have Messi back.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of it is wages as well, isn't it? Because I think if Messi went back there and was willing to take a little bit of a cut, I think they were asking all players to take cuts at one point, even though they were buying loads of players, which made no sense to me. But if he took a little bit of a cut, maybe, because that weren't part of the problem. James can jump in it because he'll know better than I do. Wasn't part of the problem when Barcelona finances all started going wrong. The lengths they went to keep Messi.
They've got a salary cap in La Liga,
right?
So the way that it works is, if you go over the salary cap, you can't register players.
Right. Okay.
So they basically had to get rid of Messi because they couldn't register him.
Right. Yeah, because this was like when he had, I think, one point Memphis and players like that were taking pay cuts, weren't they? And it was what is going on here? It's just such a mess.
Yeah.
But I mean, you imagine it. Messi returning to Barcelona is a much bigger story than Ronaldo returning to United, because Messi was a legend at Barcelona and Barcelona only.
Yeah.
Ronaldo had a great spell at United, but he made the brunt of his name at Real Madrid, didn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Those 450 goals.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yes, he won a Ballon d'Or in the Champions League and all that stuff at United, but he spent 10 years, whatever it was, at Real Madrid, winning everything and breaking all those records. And Messi was Mr. Barcelona for a long time, wasn't he? In a way that Ronaldo was never Mr. Manchester United. So I think Messi going back to Barca is just.
I think that could happen though, because I think it's only a 2-year contract. I think Messi at PSG, so you could see him going back next summer. Again, wage structures and stuff at Barca, but I can see that romance is there, which I think it'd probably be more of a commercial thing if you saw Ronaldo.
How old is Messi? Is he a bit younger than Ronaldo? Am I right?
Let's get to some of the people who've been touched.
Yeah, he's
good
35.
Evening, Ross Murphy. Good evening, Santa Notch.
Shall I get into some of these? Yeah, sorry.
I'll say hello. Breen Irwin said Ronaldo back to Lisbon. That's a good story going full circle. You can understand that.
Yeah, Ronaldo back to that would be a nice little narrative.
He doesn't come across as the guy that wants to do that, though.
Yeah, I just feel like, what is it? Is there anything there for him to prove?
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah, like coming back to United, I think there was still a little bit of like, had things worked out for him, and no, they didn't. But had he come back to United and, I don't know, got us challenging for a title or winning a trophy, there's a narrative there, and there's something to prove. United haven't won out since 2017. Ronaldo comes back and he wins them a title.
Even if it delivered a Carabao Cup,
it's something, innit? Do you know what I mean? Going back to Sporting, even if you win a title, it's like, okay. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I just don't know whether...
It's going out of a whimper, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if he'd want to do that. This is what I mean. And it does get a little bit sad when you're looking at someone like Ronaldo and you're going, is he going to go here? Is he going to go there? He should be staving off offers. He should have all these, a list of clubs that were, even though he's 37, he's still got something to offer. And yeah, it did feel like there was no one really coming in who was up for it. Maybe Chelsea were, but United went no.
Do you buy into the narrative that was flying around before we signed him then with Ronaldo, that you can only play one type of football with him in your team? Because I was opposed to it last season when he signed, because like every United fan were, well behind him, over the moon, the last dance, Man United and stuff, and it just didn't happen. Do you think that might be, it sort of tarnished how other clubs would look at signing him? Because it's a one-hit wonder, isn't it? Really? Not that he is, but I mean, if another club signs him, there's no longevity in that signing.
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean. I mean, like, it's sort of, you're building your team around him to play, and he plays that certain way. Like, you're not going to say, well, this is how we play now, Ronnie, so you've got to change your ways to suit us. Yeah. It's almost like the team becomes his team, which, it's whether it's worth the payoff. And I think that for a lot of teams, it's probably like, if he was the Ronaldo of old, where you're going to get 40 goals a season from him, you do that.
There's a risk with him now.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? There's a risk that he's, you could build your team around Ronaldo and he could get you 12 goals. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Which it's not worth upsetting everything about, is it? And paying him probably 400k a week.
Yeah, going bankrupt, and then the following season you've got to start it all.
Yeah,
and it's a massive gamble.
It is, it really is, and like I say, it was a bit sad to see all that. And the thing with Ronaldo is it's easy to hate on him. Even some United fans aren't that enamoured of Ronaldo. I know there's a few United fans who had enough of him almost. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The stuff when he came back and they were a bit like, oh, should we be doing this? And then at one point, because he was going to go City, and then like when in the summer when he did want to leave, and it was like, oh, why is he doing this sort of thing? And I just think there was a little bit of, there wasn't quite the connection there. There should be for someone who's won so much at United. So yeah, it was a bit sad to see the way it's panning out. But I'm hoping, and it is more hope than expectation, that with the fact that Martial is made of glass at the minute, innit? Let's have it right.
Not at the minute.
Not at the minute, but yeah.
He's born of glass.
But no, even by his standards though, with Martial, he's injured a lot lately. He's never usually he usually can play some games. You know what I mean? He went 3 seasons playing pretty much every game almost.
And I don't think that he's ever gone into maybe after the season when he was Van Gaal signing, but there was a lot of promise and opportunity ahead. You thought from his pre-season that Ten Hag was going to play a lot around him, and I think his injuries will curtail his Manchester United career. But back to Ronaldo, he's got to seize that opportunity now and sort of play how Ten Hag wants him to play and score. And like I said, I had a great performance by United yesterday. I know Casemiro giving the ball away I don't think he gave the ball away. I thought it was a great tackle, and he could have handled it a little bit better. But I thought Casemiro was sensational yesterday. Gladiator, mate.
Great to see. He got player of the match as well, didn't he? And it's been a bit weird since he's arrived, hasn't it? Because he's one of the best DMs out there.
Yeah.
And you've got him in, finally. We've been crying out for a DM at United for about, I don't know, when did Michael Carrick retire? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And we get one who's mint, and then it takes him a little while to get going, and then it's like Scott McTominay's obviously keeping him out of the team, and then you see these cameos and he looks a bit rusty, and you're like, well, what's going on here? And then to see him, starting the game against Everton, you think finally Premier League start, like you say, under a bit of pressure, not a great ball from Anthony, to be fair, when he's got players around him. At least today goal, you're like, crikey, is it going to be one of those days for him? But then, I mean, for the Ronaldo goal, I love the fact he loses it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
then wins it back, and then plays an absolute inch-perfect pass to play Ronnie in. Just so well weighted. And he was everywhere as well. He was pressing from the front, he was deep, he was here, and he was just... That's the sort of performance you wanted from Casemiro, and he's capable of. And I think that whilst, you can respect what Scott McTominay's done this season, and I know you're a massive Fred fan, there's just those little moments in it with Casemiro you think he's the only guy that could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's got that in him that...
All fit, all playing on form, then Casemiro just head and shoulders above
he's just
them two.
Got that quality.
He is a world-class player. McTominay and Fred, I like Fred more just because he's a personality, and just, I like rooting for the underdog. I don't think McTominay's got anything near what Casemiro has in his locker, and therefore shouldn't start ahead of him. But it says a lot about Ten Hag's managerial skills, where he's quite happy to let players who are playing on form stay in the team, and then rip them out of there when they're playing shit. You only need to look at Malacia and play, when they've not been
He's done well with that, hasn't he? Because you look
Which is good, because we wanted that. Because if you look at Solskjaer, because there was far too much favouritism.
Yeah. I think
Harry Maguire would still be playing if, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it sends a good message because the message is clear, and you play well, you're in the team. And if you don't, you're not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Luke Shaw started the campaign, I thought, pretty poorly. I think he got brought off against Brentford, didn't he, at half-time? Then he's dropped. Malassia's in. Doesn't matter the fact he cost me €40 million and Luke Shaw's, you know, this established international, all that sort of stuff. I know Malassia plays for Holland, but you're in. And then when he had us a couple of ropey ones, in the derby he got pulled at half-time, didn't he? And then against Ammonia he got subbed at half-time as well. You're, you know, Shaw's back in, and I thought Shaw played well against Everton, to be fair. I just wish Luke Shaw just turn up more often.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just that, because he's got it in him. There's never, for me, it's not a question. Some players you can argue about quality. You can maybe argue about, you know, is Scott McTominay good enough? Do you know what I mean? There's a debate to be had there. Is, you know, even Fred to an extent, you might go, has he got the levels that you want?
Yeah.
I think Shaw has. It's just, at times, just looks like he don't want to be here.
Yeah, his ambition to be the best left back in the world doesn't seem to be there. Whereas I know Malacia is younger than Shaw, but you can just sort of see him eager. It's that eagerness that you want from Shaw, because like I said, he has got, when he was at Southampton, he was known as like he was going to be the new Ashley Cole, wasn't it? I think he's being touted at, but it's not bore any fruit yet. Who else have we got up here? Late getting here. Have I missed much? That's from Scott. Yeah, you missed loads. You better start back at the beginning.
We've just been talking about Ronaldo, that boy Ronaldo. King Dino says, I've always been a big fan of Ronaldo, but it's probably time for him to move on, especially as it's well known that he wants to go. Trouble with that is, we need him at the minute, don't we?
Yeah.
We haven't got anyone else. If he goes, I think it's Marcus down the middle. That's the other option we've got.
What happened to Alanga?
Can he play down the middle, do you think?
I don't think he's good enough.
Do you not?
I just think that we were so bad for so long that we've sort of give pedestal to players, and I include, and I'll get pelters for this, but I don't think Bruno Fernandes is good enough for any sort of ambition that we have as a team that's chasing top four or any sort of success. I don't
Really?
I really don't.
I'll be honest with you, I disagree on that front. I like Bruno.
Right, he throws far too much shit at the wall, hoping it sticks. Do you not think he gives away the ball far too much?
I do.
The best creative midfielders in Europe don't need 5 or 6 passes to get it through to centre forwards. No. But and people say, oh well, he's trying stuff. I'm like, no, you're supposed to be clinical.
Yeah.
Look at the De Bruynes, your Silvers, whoever else you want to choose in that position over years, and he's not.
I think the thing with Bruno, I mean, he was for a spell, wasn't he? He was. I mean, his numbers.
This is what I mean.
His numbers were just phenomenal. Like, we've never seen anything like that. And then what happened for me, I think anyway, is as the team disintegrated and deteriorated and just went to shit, basically, he's trying harder and he's trying more Hollywood passes and he's trying more shots from 40 yards out. And I've been critical of him over that. And I think he's looked much better with Eriksen in the team recently, because you've got a player there. Because he used to look better when Pogba was on it, but then Pogba had missed all these games from injury, and you're back to relying on Bruno all the time, and then it just wasn't happening for him. And now we've got a bit more of a settled midfield. I've been more impressed with Bruno because he's taking on less responsibility, and I think that's working for him.
Sure, I understand that. So the responsibility is sort of,
because he was like, you know, when back end of last season when he's shooting from 70 yards out, and do you know what I mean? You're like, what are you doing? And you know, chasing after balls and then giving it away like Palace and that. But now I think that with Eriksen in the team, who, you know, can pick a pass, can create.
I think Eriksen's a far better player than Bruno. I watched that game yesterday, I think
the difference is, I think they work well together, and I think Bruno's impressed me as well with the way he's sort of calmed himself down a little bit, but still has that energy and that enthusiasm, and has it channeled.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing him now. You used to see him run around all the time, right? Where you going? What you doing? Now he seems like he's got a bit of a purpose. And yeah, listen, I understand there's a reason people criticise him. I can understand where you're coming from that front. But I think that the way he's been playing alongside Eriksen, the way he's been channeling his energy, and the fact now, hopefully, with Casemiro behind him, he can concentrate on the other stuff he needs to do. I still think there's a player there. I think the problem is you've had, and we had a little bit of this with Paul Pogba in the past before Bruno even got there, was it's lack of the real quality around him as well at times. Not all the time, but at the time, you know, when you've had like midfields and it's been like an out of form Jesse Lingard and a struggling Andreas Pereira and a patchy at times Nemanja Matic. I know he had a good spell, but there was times when he looked like his legs were catching up with him. And then you're looking at it going, there's not the quality there. Do you know what I mean? But when you've got 2 or 3 players who are good, do you know what I mean? Yeah. When you've got a midfield and you go, okay, I can see what he does. I can see what he does. I can see what he does. And that midfield 3 this season, I think, in some games, I know it's been McTominay, now it's Casemiro. It's looked like there's a real sort of what's the right word? Cohesion there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look like three randomers from.
I mean, across the park yesterday, I put it on Twitter, just the triangle passing and stuff. It definitely seems like there's some sort of blueprint there from what Ten Hag wants. And I'll agree with you that I think Bruno has improved his game, and it probably is down to the lack of not having as much responsibility with Eriksen alongside him. I just think if I was to choose one of them two. Not that you have to, but I think Eriksen's a better footballer.
I think you know what's not surprising, but I don't think there's as many people who disagree with you as you probably expect for someone with Bruno's numbers. You probably think, no, most people go with Bruno, but Eriksen's a very popular player amongst fan base because he's come in. You can see what he's doing. He's class to watch.
Yeah,
he's got that quality.
He's got. It reminds me, and I don't use it lightly. That sort of. Cantona about him, the sort of ease that he does things.
Yeah.
Do you know, he seems a bit effortless sometimes.
Yeah, when he fades in them little passes and that. He's a joy to watch. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I was chatting to a City fan the other week before the derby, unfortunately. It was one of the things that was fun. I do like when I jumped on a City fan podcast for their preview. And he was saying, I was talking about Eriksen, he was saying, you know what? I said, I didn't realise how good he was when he was at Spurs. I saw him at Spurs, I saw him at Brentford, I saw him at Inter briefly. But I didn't quite fathom just the quality of him. And he said it's like that when you watch. He said it was like when he watched David Silva week in, week out. You're just watching him and how mint he is, and you see it, and the class is there. And it's like that with Eriksen. You can just watch Eriksen even when he's not got the ball. You just watch the kid. He's just fucking.
Everything seems to go through him yesterday up front.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think that Bruno's benefited from that, and he's not getting in the way of that. Do you know what I mean? Because it'd be easy to stop. Hang on a minute, I'm the main man here. Well, I'll move out of the way. And he isn't. And they're working well together. It'd be interesting to see whether Ten Hag sticks with that, Because at the minute you've got the one DM, Bruno and Eriksen, haven't you? That's what he's stuck with.
Yeah.
When it wasn't Casemiro, it was McTominay. He's not gone two DMs like Ollie used to. Albeit, two midfielders playing in DM rather than out and out.
That's
DMs.
the difference of having a solid defence, though. Well, I mean, when you've got a Varane and Martinez at the back, and you've got a Casemiro, everything stems from your defence. Once you stop conceding goals, you can build from there. Every single successful football team throughout history needs a strong defence so that it allows the attacking players to go forward. And I think that's been massively what we've been underwhelming of.
What did you make of Vitz Lindelof yesterday?
All right.
What do you think of him as a
player?
Yeah. Not as a person. I'm not asking you to judge him.
Oh, he's a lovely person.
As his personality. I think he's all right. Anyway, he seems harmless enough. What do you think of him as a defender?
I think Victor Lindelof as a ball-playing centre defender is better than Harry Maguire.
Right, okay.
What do you think?
I feel there's such a diplomatic answer there because it's like...
What do you think is...
The bar's pretty low with Harry Maguire in a minute, isn't it? Is that what you're getting at?
By Maguire's own.
I've always liked Victor Lindelof. I've always thought Victor Lindelof's a decent defender. I just don't think he's at he's at a title-winning level. But he played a lot of games when we finished third and second, and people point at Harry Maguire and go, Harry Maguire played all those games when we finished third. Harry Maguire played all those games when we finished second, which is fine because he didn't. I've done that. Well, so did Victor Lindelof.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People almost forget that. And I think there's been seasons. I remember when Jose got sacked that season. I thought Victor Lindelof was one of the few players that had some decent games under Jose and under Ollie that season.
Yeah.
He wasn't one or the other. He just sort of, he wasn't spectacular, but there was a lot of 7 out of 10s there in a team that was dropping 4s and 3s.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't think he's ever going to be like that guy. He's never going to be, he's commanding the defence and he's
not a leader.
No.
But I don't think he's susceptible to as many mistakes or glaring errors. And he has had some in the past, and let's not forget that. But if Martinez and Varane are injured, if the question is, would you rather Lindelof or Maguire come in to replace one of them two, then it's Lindelof every day of the week. Yeah, for me, Harry Maguire should be done at Man United. Man,
you had enough now.
Yeah, I didn't want him in the first place. It wasn't overwhelmed when he signed, and he's just been everything I expected him to be. He feels like an old defender, not in terms of like age, but like a Steve Bruce, that like.
Well,
wait! Before you start going on about like Steve Bruce scoring, Steve Bruce is a fantastic player.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a dated way of playing football. Harry Maguire. Right. When he runs past the halfway line with the ball, he gets a nosebleed because I ain't got a fucking clue what he's doing with it.
Yeah, I think like the difference between someone like Steve Bruce and Harry Maguire. Steve Bruce read the game better than anyone.
Yeah, Steve Bruce was a terrible comparison. So
yeah, he just did, didn't he? He had no pace really, but he made up for it. But he just read the game beautifully.
Yeah.
And where Harry Maguire's reading the game at times can let him down.
I meant the era rather.
Yeah, I understand, like a throwback, sort of thing. You see the problem I have with Harry Maguire, and this is my default saying in life usually, and you're a bit the same. If everyone's piling on someone,
you'll defend them.
Yeah,
that's me with Fred.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really care about Harry Maguire, and I'm like, you know what? He used to wind me up a little bit, and I was like, fuck, you know. Do you know what I mean? One of them. But when I see everyone at him, then hang on a minute. Whoa. Do you know what I mean? When I see like these troll accounts and, do you know what I mean, England fans and all that, and I'm like, now I'm going to stick up for him a bit. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, if I'm being brutally honest, I'm not that bothered about him.
The question when it becomes you're attacking someone's personality or invading their space outside of the pitch, that's disgusting and it should never happen because it's a sport. But I'm never going to sit on the face when it comes to criticising this game because that's what he does.
No, I
musicians. Some of my favourite musicians release shit albums. I'll say it's a shit album.
No,
you know. And
I find myself sometimes defending him more than I should because I'm like, hang on a minute, fuck are you starting with? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, performance-wise, not good enough. No. Not been good enough.
I'd love to go back through your Twitter history and see how many hills you've tried to die on, trying to protect people.
It's not been that bad, to be honest with you. I've never been like, you know, there's certain ones.
Leave Katie Hopkins alone. Yeah. Stop piling on Tommy.
Yeah. Who hasn't marched through the streets of Luton, you know, racially abusing people now and again? Do you know what I mean?
We've all had our off days.
Let's not start picking holes in that.
Let's sleep in racist lies.
No, but like, there's a limit. Do you know what I mean? And the whole this with Harry Maguire, I was indefensible for me. Not that. Do you know what? It wasn't even that, right? I don't mind that. If you're going to do that, and then after the game, you go, why did you do that? You say, listen, I've taken a load of grief, and I'm sick of it. Scored a goal against Albania, and what? But he didn't. He went, oh, it's just a celebration. It wasn't really a message for anyone. And I think, just say it.
Own it. Just own it.
You know what I mean? So there's that. And I think that there's, you know, obviously Maguire's suffered from things like, you know, the comparisons with Martinez. Martinez has come in, leader, looks great on the ball, a defender that you can sort of gets the crowd going, you know, like that sort of Rafael De Silva type, flying into things and high-fiving his teammates.
He just seems to do what the fans would do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like you go through him, go on.
Go through someone and just, you know, like the game against Liverpool was brilliant, wasn't it? Because I think he went through James Milner or someone and they were all getting wound up and kicking off and running to the ref and all that. And he's like, you know, whatever. You know, you see him hugging Delo and all that sort of stuff and just getting stuck in. And you can really admire him. Also, the quality on the ball as well. Really good on the ball.
Oh, it's fantastic. I was saying it before when we were linked with him in the summer. I said, I think when we look at his defensive skills, we're overlooking what he can do on the ball. His ping passing, man, brilliant.
And then, you know, you look at Maguire and I'll be honest with you, when Maguire was at Leicester, I thought on the ball he was decent. I did. And I thought we've seen some of that at United. It's easy to rewrite and go, he's never done that. I think he has. I just don't think he's at that level where he can, certainly not passing wise and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
No.
He can pick out those sort of passes. He can carry the ball in the way that you want him to. We have seen it, but what's happened over the last year in particular, he's just gone backwards.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the end of Ollie, I go back to the Watford game where he got, you know, the 2 yellow cards. And I don't even think he's ever recovered from that. Do you know what I mean? Those 2 yellow cards, he gets sent off. We lose the game 4. Was it 4-1 that game, wasn't it? Ollie gets sacked. You know, Ralph Ragnick comes in, who's, you know, despite all the sort of nonsense I was hearing from people who supposedly knew better about all this gegenpress. This gegenpress and all this. And Stialson and Pundit J, shout out to a pair of them because they were like filling my head full of gegenpress nonsense. And I was like, listen, you guys know what you're on about. All right, I'm with you. We had half an hour of it against Crystal Palace and then that was the end of that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? That was that. Done.
They only play 15 minutes a half in Russia. That's
what it. And then we had like things like these stories about the locomotive guy on a laptop back in Russia giving advice to the coaching staff at Manchester United. It was a complete, utter fucking shambles. And Harry Maguire, during that period, did not cover himself in glory. It was just he looked like he was struggling. The team obviously was struggling. And what's happened since Ten Hag's come in, certain players, Marcus Rashford being one, Scott McTominay being one,
Delo,
even Martial, despite the injuries, who looked like they were done. have had this sort of renaissance with a manager who believes in him, who's getting a tune out of him.
They've took it on board that this could be a fresh start, and it doesn't seem to Maguire's had the same sort of impetus to get off his ass and improve his performance.
I think maybe it is that. Maybe it is he's not had the impetus. Maybe he's gone. His confidence looks, maybe a lot of the time it's easy to say people have given up, but maybe there is an element of he's just having a horrible, horrible time at United, and I think maybe it's time for him to move on. I mean, I don't like saying that about players. I always like to try and give him a chance and say, listen. But then you look at what's going on and you think, is there a happy ending here?
For his own career, he must be thinking it himself. What sort of move can I get in the summer? Because Varane stays fit, Martinez. That's the pairing. And like I said, Lindelof for me is a better centre back. So I don't see what is he fourth pecking order for centre backs at Man United. And then you got the question: will Harry Maguire be struggling like Ronaldo to find a club in the summer? I just for his own career, I'd say.
Yeah,
I like to look at United players, and you can look about under Solskjaer at our worst, and this is how much of an improvement we've had now when we look at the team we have. How many of our players now, or would Maguire get into a team better or as good as Man United or a club?
How many?
Would Harry Maguire get into a club that's an equal level as Man United anywhere else across Europe?
No,
he wouldn't. So why should he play for Man United? But if you look at Martinez, you could see him going to another great European club, couldn't you? Varane easily. Malassi's got a decent future, and Delos seems to have had a right renaissance.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I do, and I think there, the element of is it just better for him, go to somewhere like I don't know
Everton,
a Villa or someone, and
we get £8 million for
get your career back on track, and he's 29, he's still got a few years left in him. Maybe that works out well. I mean, there might be he might look at it and go, Varane's always getting injured, I've still got a chance.
I'm on a decent wage.
Yeah, do you know what I mean, though?
It depends on what your ambition is, isn't it? Whether you want a football career, whether you want to make money and you want to warm the bench like Phil Jones until it's time to pick up a golf club. Some people are like that, aren't they?
We'll get into some of the comments.
Comments, man.
Because there's quite a lot of people. Breen Irwin says, Bruce or Vidic?
Vidic.
Sam J says, poor Bruce, he sacked again. Yeah, he got sacked from West Brom today, didn't he?
Why would you keep going back to manager? You're not good at it, Steve. There must be easier careers out there now.
Did a good job with Hull.
When was
James
that?
Young there? Go on, sorry.
No, he did a pretty good job with Hull.
When was that though, James?
Like about 5 or 6 years ago.
I think for a year at Newcastle he did well, right? He finished what, 12th or 11th?
Well, in a Mike Ashley funded. Well.
No, he didn't. He was. I think he had one seat because there was Rafa Wanda. Then he came in. And I think he got, was it Solomon Rondon or someone he got?
No, what I mean is on a Mike Ashley...
Joe Lennon, sorry, not Solomon Rondon,
on a Mike Ashley shoestring, I meant.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And it was like, Rafa Benitez finishes 11th, he's a genius. Yeah. Steve Bruce finishes 11th, he's a dickhead, get rid of him. Yeah. And all right, I know that the football wasn't great, I'm not going to pretend it was. But he's had little moments. And I think maybe it's a bit like the boxer, you say boxers who keep going. Yeah. Maybe there's that bug of being a manager, being involved. And I feel a bit sorry for Steve Bruce because I always feel like he's under the radar a bit as a United legend.
I think post-millennium, possibly. I mean, for us. Oh, man, fucking Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, you imagine if a defender, scored the winning goal, the equaliser on the winning goal in basically the title-deciding game. You never really end of it. And I think with Steve Bruce, people always forget about him. And he's a good guy as well. I feel a bit sorry that it's not worked out for him. He did a soccer schools once with my little brother, and he was just a genuine, dead nice guy. And now he's become this figure of fun anyway. How's the bacon and all that sort of stuff.
Great in Home Alone.
Breen Irwin also says no inhalers for Liverpool anymore. Cal Norrie says, please, Scotty, retell the story of your famous homemade Predator boots. Classic story. Now, he's asked very nicely there. Also, I've put a link into our Patreon for some extra stuff going on there, if you can check out that.
Have you all clicked like?
Yeah, click like as well, 27 likes. Tell you what, if we get to 28 likes, Scotty will retell his...
One more like? Jesus. This is gold I'm giving out here. They've not done it, have they?
No, he's literally there's a like button. Hit that like button and you'll get this golden story from Scotty about his 29. There you go.
Bastards.
Yeah. Go on.
So back at the height of, or the launch of the Adidas Predator, there was all these fantastic adverts with Gaza doing skills and you could, do you remember you used to be able to, if you bought Snickers, And if you could like win a pair of Predator boots if you open the wrapper of Snickers. It was like Willy Wonka, Jay. Do you remember it? If you opened it, and you've got the Predator sign and your Snickers.
Oh,
you
yeah,
won a
yeah.
pair of Predator. So everybody wanted these new boots. Like obviously they were cutting edge. And my mum said to me, I can make them. So I'm like, what? She goes, just a bit of rubber on your on your football boots. So my mum, bless her soul, decided that she's going to get the rubber texture of a table tennis racket and then stick them to my Puma Kings. And there I was, playing football on Greenbank Fields in Levenshulme, which still exists, trying to bend the ball like Beckham with material that's meant for hitting ping pongs. And I'm not joking, I took a shot once and like I've hit the ball's gone that way, the fucking rubber off my trainer's gone that way, and I've just got all this dry residue from the glue on the front of my boot. I love my mum, but that was...
No, bless her though. She tried. Do you know what I mean? She tried to make it work, and you know, you don't need those £120 Predator. I'll make them myself. And wasn't Predator off like ping pong?
That's what I mean. She'd seen some sort. I think Football Focus had ran something like where the idea had come from. There's a big difference between
between like where it's come from and just making it in your bedroom with a bit of Pritt stick.
It was like the
Pritt stick as well.
Yeah, it was like the prototype before the prototype.
It was Craig Johnson who invented them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you not have got you a pair from like Cheetham Hill or somewhere?
No. Not when she's got glue. What do you mean? Times were hard, James.
No, I know, but like...
Cheetham Hill. You mean knocking on the shutters and all that? For a pair of Predator.
120 quid, and that was at 95, 96 when they came out.
Yeah, it would have been.
I wouldn't mind because that summer. This is how close it got to being really bad. Is that I had trials at Bolton Wanderers the same summer, and had I not gone into the house screaming blue murder that she'd made me look like dick on the park,
yeah,
I would have been taking them to fucking my Bolton Wanderers trial. JJ, she's got now on me.
What's this, boys? Move out of the way. What's this? Scott says ex-Liverpool player, was it? Yeah, he was. I mean, you can't hold too much against him. He did invent the Predator, though. Well, after Scotty's mum. Of course, we're almost out of time. We've not spoke about Kanye West yet.
Is that gone already?
Yeah, 42 minutes, bro.
Wow.
I know. Kanye West, he's been at it again, hasn't
he? Yeah.
It's a bit of an understatement, that.
He's been at it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put like anti-Semitic tweets. I don't know if we've got enough time to do it in 3 minutes. What do you think?
Mate, I'll tell you what you could do, right? The smoking shed.
I'll do the smoking shed about Kanye West.
Yeah, you're going to do smoking. I did it last week about Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
So you're going to do the smoking shed.
Yeah, I just think we need to do it justice rather than...
No, you're right. I don't want to sort of breeze through it and just go, oh, by the way, Kanye West has been anti-Semitic.
I mean, you may feel, Jay, that anti-Semitic...
Go on, you can get
anti-Semitic statements can be discussed in 30 seconds, but I think we give it more time.
Right, okay, you threw me under the bus there. Right, yeah.
We can't discuss racism in 2 minutes, Jay.
No, I agree with you, right? So, the smoking shed, which should be out, when's that out? Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah. The smoking shed will be out on Thursday on this channel. We've also got a Patreon, as I told you earlier.
We've got a Patreon question, actually. From Glenn.
Let's kick it off.
Glenn F's not happy we've got a Patreon. Right, Glenn, we've got a Patreon group, right, for extra content because we have to spend some money now to make this show, believe it or not. So there's a £2 a month Patreon. For that, you get an extra video each week. You get articles as well. So it's not like we're just going, oh yeah, we're going to take stuff off here and just charge you for it.
Just to put it into context, it cost me £8 to park to do this show and the one after this tonight.
Right, so that's going to cover your parking.
Yeah.
Right, that's fair enough.
And then you've got to think about time and stuff like that. It's hardly, what is it? It's half a pint.
I mean, we're not even there yet.
Glenn, don't sign up, mate.
I don't think we're there yet, to be honest with you, the amount of patrons we've had, but we do appreciate that support. And we are going to be back on Thursday with... You're doing the smoking shed.
I'll do the smoking
shed. And then
shed.
over on the Patreon.
Oh, he's joining now. He's joining.
Yeah, nice one, Gleff.
Right, cheers, Glenn.
You did an article, didn't you, on there, by the way?
I did a fantastic article on there. And
1,000 words.
Yeah. I didn't count the words. I think it's about 1,000. And it was called Be Stupid, or what is it called, James?
Well, I can't actually access it.
because you've not signed up.
I've got it here. It's Be an Idiot.
Be an Idiot. And it's a guide as to why you should always remain stupid in conversations. I written it at 6 o'clock Sunday morning when I was dying of Jay's man flu. And I appreciate the emails that I've got off the back of it. Have you read it, Jay? No.
Of course I've read it. I'm reading it here now. I've read it in front of me.
I quote Muhammad Ali in there. Socrates gets a mention.
Do you know Muhammad Ali, Socrates?
You've not even read it? You bastard, right?
Of course I have.
You come back this time next week.
In 400 BC, Socrates declared, I know nothing.
Why are you reading the fucking spoiler alert?
Everyone's turning against you, Jay. Someone's put in the chat, the smoking shed this week was pretty cringe.
Why are you reading out trolls, right? He's been doing this to me all night, him. Reading out trolls. Honestly, we need to take his mic off him.
Who's King Dino? Who made you king?
Thanks for that, King.
What was cringe about your smoking shed?
I don't know. I thought everyone loved it. I'm a bit disappointed.
Maybe he's a secret Trump fan.
Dean didn't like it when I had a bit of a pop at Herschel Walker's performances this season. This season? Yeah. This summer, shall we say.
King Dino's not happy. I never called you a troll, Dean.
Yeah, sorry, King Dino.
We're all kings.
Yeah, John Shin's in the chat as well.
Hey, John, please check out my chat with John on his good vibes, John. That was,
have you just timed him out? Why have you done that?
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, video. Sorry, King Dino. Untime him out, man.
That's
I tell you what, I'm going to untime you out in a minute, or time you out.
Right, we apologise,
Dino, because James Young there.
How do I untime him out?
You've done it. You've put him back in now, haven't you?
No, he hasn't. Santa Not says wasn't cringe at all. Why don't you read these out, yeah? Carlos Torres says it was great. Thank you, there you see. So not only have you read out the one that was critical, you've then put him in a timeout, which I didn't want you to do. James Young, I'll tell you what, listen, you are having a shocker as producer, bro.
What's James on Twitter?
James Young.
What's his Twitter handle?
I don't really follow him. You know.
No, I'm just give Dean his account.
Check
him out, James King Dino. If you want to lay it into someone.
Sorry about that.
That
King
was
Dino.
nothing to do with us.
We don't like censor people just for being critical. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know, we're not like that. But James Young had another idea though, so hopefully you'll join us again.
I think maybe we should hang around till he comes back. Jay's going to be scrapping with Dino in a car park in Earlham later.
I live in Eccles now. So, yeah.
So me and Dino at Salford Precinct later tonight.
Yeah, I thought you was fighting wicked and bad.
The guy on there looks exactly. Sorry?
I have no idea. Yeah, so check out the podcast that I was on with John Shin.
There you go. Santa Notch has said there. James
_ Young. Check out his podcast with Santa Notch.
Yeah, Sim Collins says, cheers, lads. Good entertainment. Make sure, thanks for that, Santa Notch. Thanks for everyone who got involved in the chat and the comments. Even King Dino, who did get timed out.
I'm so sorry, King Dino.
I apologise for that, bro. You are allowed to criticise. You know,
and make sure you criticise the producer of the show because it was all to do with us.
I know, yeah.
Have a good week, man.
Yeah, we're back on Thursday. You're going to be back with the Smoking Shed.
Top fives are on.
And we're going to have the Patreon. We're going to have a top 5 on that. And we're going to have an article as well. I'm going to do an article on the Patreon because I didn't do one this week. It was Scotty who did a very good one, which I read, about Socrates and Muhammad Ali.
It wasn't about Socrates and Muhammad Ali. It was some life advice about why you should be more stupid in it. Right? That's it. Apparently, you've already took that advice on before even reading the article. So whilst I educate my fellow presenter, you have a good week and take care of yourselves. You, me, need a word.